Although just about everyone knows that they need to focus on customers, most people do not readily recognize who their customers are or how to define their customer requirements. Customers are the recipients of outputs generated by your work group. They can be both internal and external to your organization. As you collect inputs for your scorecard, defining your customer's key requirements will be imperative. Key requirements are those things about your outputs which are most important to your customer, such as timeliness, cost, accuracy, functionality, responsiveness, follow-through, quantity, thoroughness, dimension, yield, price, and availability. You can use these key requirement areas to foster conversation within your work group about your customers' key requirements. Once you understand who your customers are, you can chart your work group's core processes. Your core processes have customers, suppliers, inputs, and outputs. To add value to the process, incorporate requirements from your key customer that will help you develop requirements for your suppliers. Continuous feedback will improve the outputs produced by both you and your suppliers. An example of a core process is biweekly payroll completed by the payroll department. An input to this process is the approved time card, which is supplied by the employee or their manager. The output is a paycheck delivered to the employee. Some customer requirements for the biweekly payroll process center around timeliness and accuracy. As you seek to identify your core process chains, ask yourself the following questions. What are the major outputs, products or services, your work group produces? What are the major activities of your work group? How would you describe your work group's primary purpose? Who are your key customers? Once you have identified your core process chains, you can then consider the key requirements for your work group's core customers. Seek feedback from your customers to understand, what does your customer need and expect from you? What does your customer do with your work output? And do gaps exist between what you provide and what your customer needs and expects? Your scorecard is intended to provide indicators as to how well your core process chains are performing. Over time, as you get more specific requirements based on customer feedback, measures, and targets, you can effectively manage your scorecard.